Welcome to my bloody channel. You think it's December, it's bloody freezing outside, so you can't possibly grow anything? You think you're off the hook? Wrong! We're diving headfirst into the world of winter gardening, you hear me? If you think December is too late to start planting, you're about as useful as a chocolate fire guard. We're gonna turn that sad patch of dirt you call a garden into a thriving veg patch. Get your wellies on. Grab your gardening gloves and listen up. Here are 20 vegetables you can plant right now and get this, actually enjoy fresh produce in the bloody colder months. You listening? Good. Let's get to work. First up, we've got spinach. This leafy green is tougher than it looks, tougher than you by the looks of your sad excuse for a garden. It can withstand the cold, even a bit of snow won't scare it off. Now, when you're planting your spinach, make sure you're giving it some space, about 6 inches apart, you hear? And don't drown the bloody thing, just keep the soil moist. In a few weeks you'll be swimming in spinach, enough for salads, smoothies, you name it. And trust me, there's nothing more satisfying than whipping up a dish with ingredients you grew yourself. Next up, we've got kale, the king of the winter garden. This bad boy thrives in cooler temperatures, tougher than a $2 steak, this one. You can plant kale directly into the ground, about a foot apart. Keep the soil moist, not soaking wet. You don't want to drown the bloody thing. And the best part? You can harvest kale throughout the winter. That's right, fresh, homegrown greens even when it's colder than my freezer out there. Now let's talk garlic. This little bulb packs a punch, both in flavor and in hardiness. You want flavor? This is it. The trick with garlic is to plant it in the fall before the ground freezes solid. So December, you're just in time. Separate the cloves, don't plant the whole bulb, you donkey. Give them about 6 inches of space and plant them about 2 inches deep. You won't see much action until spring, but trust me, when those green shoots pop up, you'll be feeling like a right gardening genius. Chapter 4. Onions, the base of 1,000 dishes, and you can grow them right through winter. You want flavor? You start with the onion. Just like garlic, onions are best planted in the fall. You can plant them from sets, which are small onion bulbs, or from seeds. Give them plenty of space, about 4 to 6 inches apart, and make sure the soil is well drained. Come spring, you'll be harvesting onions like a pro, ready to add that essential flavor to all your culinary creations. Chapter 5. Carrots, you love to eat them, but can you grow them? Of course you can, even in December. Now carrots are a bit more picky about their soil. They like it loose and sandy, not clumpy and clay-like. You got that? Sow your carrot seeds directly into the ground, about 1/2 inch deep and 2 inches apart. Keep the soil moist, and in a few months, you'll be pulling up fresh, crunchy carrots. And let me tell you, nothing beats the taste of a homegrown carrot. Chapter 6. Beets, the underdog of the vegetable world. They're packed with nutrients and have a unique, earthy flavor. Just like carrots, beets prefer well-drained soil. Plant your beet seeds about 1 inch deep and 2 to 3 inches apart. And don't be afraid to thin them out once they sprout. You want to give those babies room to grow. Roast them, pickle them, juice them, the possibilities are endless. And don't even get me started on the beet greens. Delicious and nutritious. Chapter 7. Radishes, fast and furious. Need a quick win in the garden? Radishes are your answer. These little beauties grow incredibly fast, even in cooler weather. You can sow radish seeds directly into the ground about 1/2 inch deep and 1 inch apart. They like moist soil, so keep an eye on them, especially if the weather's dry. In just a few weeks you'll be snacking on spicy, crunchy radishes straight from your garden. Talk about instant gratification. Chapter 8. Lettuce, crisp and fresh even in winter. You think winter means no more fresh salads? Think again. Lettuce can be grown throughout the winter, even if you don't have a greenhouse. A cold frame, which is basically a mini greenhouse, is perfect for growing lettuce in the colder months. But if you haven't got one, don't worry, you can still grow some lettuce indoors by a sunny window. Plant your lettuce seeds in seed trays and keep the soil moist. In a few weeks, you'll be enjoying fresh, crisp lettuce in your salads, sandwiches and wraps. Take that, winter. Chapter 9. Peas, pop these in now for a spring treat. Peas might be small, but they're packed with flavor and nutrients. And guess what? You can get a head start on spring by planting them now. Peas actually prefer cooler weather, so December is the perfect time to get them in the ground. Plant your pea seeds about 1 inch deep and 2 inches apart. Give them some support with a trellis or some sticks, and watch them climb. Come spring, you'll be feasting on fresh, sweet peas. Broccoli, it's good for you, it tastes good, and you can grow it in the winter. What's not to love? Broccoli actually prefers cooler weather, so planting it in December is ideal. Give your broccoli plants plenty of space, about 18 inches apart, and make sure the soil is well drained. With a little care and attention, you'll be harvesting heads of homegrown broccoli in no time. Now that's something to get excited about. Cabbage, it's the comeback kid of the vegetable world. It's making a comeback on the plate, and it's a champ in the winter garden. Cabbage is incredibly cold-hardy, so it can handle whatever winter throws at it. Plant your cabbage seedlings about 18 inches apart and make sure they get plenty of water. In a few months, you'll be harvesting heads of cabbage that are bigger and tastier than anything you'll find in the supermarket. Cauliflower is a versatile vegetable that can be roasted, mashed, riced, you name it. And the best part? You can plant it in December. Cauliflower is a bit more delicate than some of the other vegetables on this list, so it's important to give it some protection from the cold. A cloche or some row cover will do the trick. Plant your cauliflower seedlings about 18 inches apart and keep the soil moist. With a little TLC, you'll be enjoying homegrown cauliflower in no time. Chapter 13. Brussels sprouts. Don't be afraid of these little green gems. Brussels sprouts, they've been called the Marmite of the vegetable world, but trust me, when they're fresh and homegrown, they're absolutely delicious. Brussels sprouts are incredibly cold-hardy, so they're perfect for planting in December. Plant your Brussels sprout seedlings about 2 feet apart, and make sure they get plenty of sunlight. In the spring, you'll be harvesting these little green gems and wondering why you ever doubted them. Chapter 14. Swiss chard, the gift that keeps on giving. Swiss chard is another leafy green that's perfect for winter gardening. It's incredibly cold-hardy, and can be harvested throughout the winter. Plant your Swiss chard seeds or seedlings about 6 inches apart and keep the soil moist. And here's the best part. Once the plant is established, you can keep harvesting the outer leaves and it will just keep growing more. Talk about a gift that keeps on giving. Chapter 15. Turnips, the unsung heroes of the vegetable patch. Turnips often get overlooked, but they're a delicious and versatile root vegetable that can be roasted, mashed, or added to stews. Turnips are very cold-hardy, so they're perfect for planting in December. Plant your turnip seeds about ½ an inch deep and 2 to 4 inches apart. In the spring, you'll be digging up these delicious roots and wondering why you haven't been growing them all along. Mustard greens add a delicious peppery bite to salads, stir-fries, and soups. And guess what? They thrive in cooler weather. You can sow mustard green seeds directly into the ground, about 1/2 inch deep and a few inches apart. They like moist soil, but don't let them get waterlogged. In just a few weeks, you'll be harvesting these flavorful greens, adding a burst of flavor and color to your winter meals. Collard greens are a staple of Southern cuisine, and for good reason. They're delicious, nutritious, and incredibly easy to grow, even in the winter. Collard greens are very cold-hardy, so they can handle even the coldest winters. Plant your collard green seedlings about 18 inches apart and make sure they get plenty of water. In the spring, you'll be harvesting these leafy greens and whipping up delicious Southern-inspired dishes. Parsnips are another often overlooked root vegetable that deserves a place in your winter garden. They have a sweet, nutty flavor that's absolutely delicious roasted or mashed. Parsnips are very cold-hardy and actually taste sweeter after a frost. Plant your parsnip seeds about 1/2 an inch deep and 3 to 4 inches apart. In the spring, you'll be digging up these sweet and nutty roots ready to add a touch of sweetness to your winter meals. Leeks are a member of the onion family, but they have a milder, sweeter flavor. They're incredibly versatile and can be used in soups, stews, risottos, and quiches. Leeks are very cold-hardy and can be planted in December for a late spring harvest. Plant your leek seedlings about 6 inches apart and make sure the soil is well drained. With a little patience, you'll be harvesting these flavorful alliums, adding a touch of elegance to your winter dishes. Arugula, also known as RIGt, is a leafy green with a peppery, slightly nutty flavor. It's a delicious addition to salads, pizzas, and pastas. Arugula is surprisingly cold-hardy and can be grown throughout the winter in many regions. Plant your arugula seeds about half an inch deep and a few inches apart. In just a few weeks, you'll be harvesting these flavorful greens, adding a burst of peppery goodness to your winter meals. And there you have it, 20 veggies you can plant in December. You see, winter gardening isn't just possible, it's bloody brilliant. Don't let the cold weather stop you from enjoying fresh, homegrown produce. Get out there, get your hands dirty, and show winter who's boss. Happy gardening, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more gardening tips from yours truly. Now get out of my kitchen.